Hello everyone. So we've finished going through the notes booklets on genetics. That's unit 2.4b and that's for both GCSE biology and double award biology. On the very last page in both booklets you've got some test yourself questions which you were trying, and so we're just going to go through now the mark scheme and you can mark your own work. So the first question was telling us that brown eye colour, big B, is dominant over blue eye colour, and so therefore the first thing then that you work out is blue eye colour is going to be represented by a little b then because it's recessive. So big B is brown and little b is blue eye colour. So the first Punnett square, a homozygous brown-eyed person, so brown, big B, homozygous, both alleles are the same, and a homozygous blue, so that's two small b's, that's the cross you're doing. So the Punnett square should look, now it doesn't matter whether you put the big B's at the top or down the side, so long as you've got two big B's on one place and two small b's on the other place, and then when you do the Punnett square, all the offspring are big B, little b. In terms of marking it, you get 1 mark for two big B's, 1 mark for two little b's, 2 marks for getting all of these right. If you make one mistake, you'd only get 1 mark. So that's 4 marks for the Punnett square, and then you had to draw a Punnett square, state the phenotype. Okay, so the phenotype, you need to say that all are going to have brown eyes. The next one, 2 heterozygous. So heterozygous means big B, little b. Heterozygous, the alleles are different. So again, 1 mark for this, 1 mark for this. In here, 2 big B's, big B, little b, big B, little b, and 2 little b's. So again, 2 marks for getting all the offspring right, so that's 4 so far for that, and then 1 mark for working out that you have got, well, these 3 here have all got brown eyes, so that's 3 brown, and this one here has got blue to 1 blue eyes. Now, so far we've said 4 marks for this. You need to have the colours in there. You can't just say 3 to 1 or 1 to 3. You need to say 3 brown to 1 blue. So that's 1 mark for that. So altogether in those 2 questions so far, we're looking at 5 marks and 5 marks if you got everything right. Heterozygous brown-eyed person and a blue-eyed person, well, blue, 2 small b's. Again, 1 mark for the big B, little b, 1 mark for the 2 little b's, and then you're going to have 2 marks again for having all of the offspring genotypes right. So that's 4 for the Punnett square. And if we look here, we can see 2 people with blue and 2 people with brown. So that's 2 to 2, but if you simplify that, you get 1 brown to 1 blue, or obviously you could have had 1 blue to 1 brown, and you get 1 mark for that, so that's another total of 5. Okay. Question 2 is looking at cystic fibrosis. You do need to be very careful how you write your F's to make sure that the examiner can tell the difference between a big F and a small f. So here we can see that female 7 has got cystic fibrosis, okay, because she's shaded in darker than the others. Cystic fibrosis allele is little f, that tells you it's recessive, so she must be little f, little f. So question 2a, what is the genotype of person F or person 7? Well, that's 2 small f's, and make sure they look like small f's. Genotypes of her parents, well, they do not have cystic fibrosis, so they've all got 1 big F, but she has got one of those from that parent and the other one from the other parent. So you can either say big F, little f, and big F, little f, or you could say both big F, little f. So 1 mark for this, 1 mark for this. What is the probability that the next child of 3 and 4 will have cystic fibrosis? Well, you need to do the cross. So we've said big F, little f, big F, little f. You're not getting any marks for that because you've answered that bit already from part B, but you'll get 2 marks if you show the offspring properly. Now you can see there, I haven't been too careful there, so you need to make sure that's careful. If we look at the offspring, you get 2 marks for getting them all right. These 3 have all got 1 big F, so that's 3 normal, 1 cystic fibrosis. Now, you don't need to write that down, but you do need to answer the question, what's the probability? Well, 1 out of 4 have cystic fibrosis, so the answer there is 1/4. And you get one mark for that, plus 2 for that. Which of the following conditions is caused by the presence of a dominant allele? Well, you learned that that's Huntington's disease. The genotype of someone who's a carrier for cystic fibrosis. Genotype is going to be big F, little f. So 1 mark for this, 1 mark for this. And then, which of the following is caused by a chromosome rather than a gene abnormality? So we're talking here about having an extra chromosome or 1 less. So the answer there is Down's syndrome. 1 mark there. So add up your marks. Just to recap, there are 5 for this one, 5 for this one, 5 for this one. For question 2, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then another 3, and that gives us a total of 23 marks. So leave a comment, a private message or a comment on this assignment to tell me how many marks you got out of 23. If you've anything you're not sure about, any problems, leave me a comment as well and I'll explain it to you. Okay, bye.